This conference will now be recorded.
So good evening, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about, in this SQL sessions, today we are going to discuss about constraints. So here, what is the purpose of constraints is, so mainly these are all the rules or restrictions. Constraints are rules and restrictions so that applied on columns. So particular columns related, we can apply some rules and restrictions. Okay, so to avoid the unwanted data, we can use that one. So here, what are all the constraints? Mainly we have not null constraints and unique and primary key, foreign key constraints. So here, what is this not null constraints and all? So here, for suppose I am having a table, create tables, id int, name varchar. Okay. So here observe, I created a table. In this one, I am inserting a data. Okay. No. Observe here, the record is inserted. The record is inserted. So here you can see normal. So here null, if you don't want to insert a null record, so you can make that column as a not null column. So in this case, so for suppose I am loading the data from the file. So here customer ID, consider Aadhaar ID. Okay. So here I don't want to make it a null column. So if you want to make it a not null, we can use here. Now I'm creating a table, one more table. Now observe here, created successfully. Now I am inserting a record here. So now observe here, this record you are inserted, fine. Now here if I am trying to insert a record, it is going to throw an error. So column does not allow null values. So if you are passing any null values, okay, it is if you don't want to insert a null value in this table, you can use the not null constraint. You can use the not null constraint. Here observe, now the table is normal. Okay, so it can allow null value. Now if you want to convert, if you want to convert this null value to not null constraint, so if you want to alter the table, we can use, so there is a predefined one, alter table, table name. Okay, add constraint, id, add constraints id, not null we can use id. We can alter this one actually, one alter table, table one, add constraint constraint name id. Second. Alter table name. Second. Here I have written the notes. Add constraint name id not null. It's 1 second we can do actually. So if I forget, okay, I will search in the Google. Will alter table, add constraint, not null. So by using this one, okay, so I have to use the keyword alter column. Alter column, okay, this ID int not null. Now observe this one. Hello null value. Not written value. Hmm. The table add constraint not null. Alter table, alter column. Alter table name, alter column ID int not null. Student, this is the table one, right? Okay, so I will check this one, guys. I will check this one. So for the time being, what you have to understand is at the time of creating a table, if you don't specify this one not null constraint, it is going to allow the null value. Now here, so here if you specify not null, now if you are trying to insert a null record here, it is going to throw the error because it is a not null column. So whenever based on the table definition at the time of creating a table, okay, so we have to check with the source, okay, what are the columns we are receiving. So is there any columns we are receiving a null value, we should not receive the null value. Those things we have to discuss initially. For suppose amount column, so it should not contain the null values. Any department columns, those things we have to check before. So those columns you have to make it as a not null. Okay. So actually we have to alter that. I need to check once, guys. Next we have a one more called check constraints. Check constraint. Observe this one, guys. Table 3. Okay. I have a salary column. Now here at the time of declaring the column, we can write the check constraints. At the time of declaring a column, we can write the check constraints. So here you can see can see check value. Check value salary greater than 30,000. So here we have to specify like this. So salary constraint, okay, constraint name, check salary. So in this case, at the time of table definition, at the time of table definition, I am checking the salary. I am, see here, this is the constraint. Okay, check is the constraint. This is the constraint name. This is the constraint name. Here, check constraint salary greater than 20,000. Now observe here. Now in this one, if I insert a record, insert into details 3, values, ID, 40,000. Now observe, it is going to insert. Now the same thing, if I insert, observe here, it is throwing the error. So insert statement conflicted with the check constraint. So the constraint name. So this constraint name, you can keep anything, guys. And what is the condition it is going to checking? Salary should be greater than 20,000. Salary should be greater than 20,000. But here I am trying to insert with 10,000, so I got the error. So that is the check constraints. So on top of the column, at the time of inserting, it is going to check the constraint. So what is the constraint? What is the condition you want to check? That you can keep it here. Guys, this one clear? Hello? Guys, this one clear? Constraint, check constraint.
Yes, clear.
Yeah. Yes, just give me 1 second. Okay. Just give me 1 second, please. Just 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Let me share once again. Okay. So that is the constraints we can keep here. Now, that is a check condition. So check constraint is that one. Next, we have one more called unique constraints. As here, this unique constraints. Okay, so then it is not null and it is a unique one, and it is going to consider null value also as a single one, null also as a value. For suppose consider id int. I specified this one as a unique. I specified this one as a unique. Now observe here. Now insert into values. So one record is inserted. Now I am inserting one more record. I am trying to insert one more record with the same ID. Guys, here I defined this column as a unique. This column as a unique. So here it can allow only one record. Now if I am trying to insert one more, so unique key constraints violation. So this constraint related we can keep a name also. Constraint. Okay, constraint name we can keep. We can keep anything. Like this also we can keep. So mainly the unique is the value in the column should be unique value. It should be unique value. And also it can allow the null value also. Okay, now observe here. Now if I am trying to insert a one more record, it is throwing error because there is already a record with null value. Record with null value I am trying to insert once again. So here what you have to understand is in the unique key constraints, in the column level I am going to handle it as the value should be unique. The value should be unique. You should not insert one more record with that one. Now the same thing in the check constraint. So I am going to checking the condition here. I am going to checking the condition here. And here in the table definition itself, we are going to handling this one. Guys, these constraints we can write at end also. Now observe here. So here, these constraints we can write at end also. I am not specifying any constraints unique. Okay, you can specify the columns. ID comma name. Okay, unique columns we can specify the. Now check if it is work or not. Including the data type in the definition. Constraints name unique code. So here also we can define actually. So table level definitions we can give. SQL Server constraints in table, where the time of creating that one. Uh, Let me check later. So meanwhile, what you have to understand is we can do here. Constraints. Syntax I did not remember. So I will discuss again later tomorrow. So here you can understand this one. So multiple columns also we can keep unique. Now observe here. So here observe. Now the key is violated. So this is the violation. So unique key is violated. So multiple columns also we can give the multiple columns also we can apply these constraints. Okay. Let's first go through high level. So we can alter the tables. We can do constraints related. We can alter that. I will take one more session tomorrow, guys. Okay. So just a high level understand here. And there is a default constraint. Observe here. Country varchar of 10. I am writing default India. Now observe here. I am inserting into here. Insert into std underscore details 7, out of which I want to insert only 2 columns. We can do like this. So what column names are? Column names are like this. So here if you observe these two columns I am inserting 2 values. Now observe here. Observe the data. So here if you even if you do not specify anything, whatever the default value it is going to take that one. Now you inserted your own record. So here if you want to insert all the values, you can insert like this. Now, now observe this one. Okay. This is where we can restrict this country. So if you observe this, guys, the definition itself I said, okay, the definition itself I said we can this one controlling we can do here. So here we can apply the rules and restrictions. We can apply the rules and restrictions. So here I have a default also. Default also. So default constraints. So when you are open the table, so here you can see what is the constraints are there. Okay, at the time of creating a table, we have to specify the constraints. There is a one more called primary key. It is not null plus unique. Generally here, unique you already know. Okay, unique you already know, but it can allow one null value. As I said, null is also it is going to take a value. But if it is a primary key, if you define this one as a primary key, it does not allow the null value. Observe this one. So this is the normal one. Now I defined the primary key. Now observe this one. Now here I'm trying to this here it is null here, right? Okay. It does not allow the null value. Even if I try to repeat the same record again, to allow the same record again, so again it is going to throw an error. Okay. So guys, here what you have to observe is if you define the primary key, which is a not null and unique value. See, distinct is going to record level you are doing distinct operation. So unique is a constraint at the time of inserting a data into the column we are doing. Okay, at the time of see, if you do not specify the unique on the column, okay, for suppose observe here, I have a ID name one Srinivas one. Consider I have a two columns, three records. In this case, if I write a query, select distinct ID comma name from table. In this case, here in the select statement, we are using the distinct. But unique is a table constraint level. So at the time of table creation, if you specify this one both are unique, okay, then you cannot insert a one more record here. Distinct is only after inserting here. Okay, then only we are using the distinct, which is removing the duplicates. If you specify the constraints on table level at the time of inserting a data into this one, here itself we are going to restrict that one. Here itself we are going to restrict that one. Okay. So here guys, when you are accessing a table in the real time, you have to identify which column is a primary key column. Based on that, we can get the records. For suppose select a star from EMP. Now here this employee number is a unique key column. Number is a unique because based on that I can identify the record easily. Based on that I can identify the record easily. For suppose you do not have any information, so I want to identify which column which column we can make it as a primary key, which column we can make it as a primary key. Then what you have to do is select star from table group by that column name. For suppose I am using job having count star greater than 1, count star equal to 1. Sorry, observe here. Select the column, how to use it, job. See, all are having more than one, so I should not make it as a. I should not make it as a. Okay, 1 minute. So here few values more than once, so I should not make it as a primary key column. Now the same thing I am choosing. Here you do not get any records, means employee number is not repeated. Employee number is not repeated, so I can make that column as a primary key column. So by seeing this value, I can identify the unique record. So here in the table, I have a billions of records. On which column I want to identify this one, I'm unable to identify. In those cases, we can use a primary key column. So when you get a table, so first we have to identify on which base we can identify the record uniquely. To do that, I don't have a primary key information. Then I have to check which column is a primary key. Then I have to check which column is a primary key. Those cases we can use this one. Those cases we can use this one. Okay. So next we have a foreign key. Now, so here guys, we have a master and parent table relation. For suppose I have a employee table, it is having employee ID, employee name, okay, salary and a department number. So if he has a department number, that record should be in the department table. Okay. So the employee belongs to particular department. So there should be a table, department table. So in this case, department is a parent table. PMP is a child table. So when you are inserting a data into here, make sure the department. So here consider I created this one department number, okay, which is a relation with the this one foreign key with this one. So what will happen is if the department number is not there here, then the record will not insert here. The record will not insert here. So here this is a foreign key. So here I am maintaining this one as a foreign key department number by referring the department table. By referring the department table. Okay. So I mean to say, if I want to insert a data into this table with a department number, the department number must and should be in the parent table. Those scenarios we can use the foreign key. Now observe here. Create table D1, which is having department number, which is a primary key. And here it is a pointing the child table pointing the primary key of the another table, department name. Okay. Now I'm inserting a data into here. So I have a two departments. Now I am creating an employee table. Employee ID. So here it is a primary key. Employee name. Observe here, guys. I am using department number, so which is an integer. Here I am writing a constraint. 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 You can keep any constraint name. You can keep any name. Foreign key of what is the column name? Department number. Here you have to specify references. Which table? This is the table. In this table, what is the column? DEPT number. Okay. Now observe here. Table created. Now I am inserting a data into here. The data 10 is already there here. Now it is going to accept. Now I am inserting one more record. Here it is throwing error. So there is a conflict because here I said foreign key of department number. So this column I am going to foreign key with what? In this table department number. So for suppose consider here I am having a record with 30. Now I am inserting a data here. It should allow. So when you have any foreign key which is pointing to the primary key of the other table, if the data is present here, then only it can allow. Otherwise it cannot be allow. Okay. So this is about foreign key, guys. So here high level what you have to understand is not null. If you specify the not null, it cannot allow the null value into this column. It cannot allow the null value. Check constraint is going to check the constraint. I mean to say this column should have the value greater than 20,000. So here at the time of table definition itself, I can restrict that one. So this is the check constraints. Unique key, it can allow unique value, but here it can allow null value. So here null is also considered as a single value. Now, So multiple columns we can keep the unique also. Default, if you don't specify anything, if you do not insert a value here, so whatever the default value specified, it can take that one. Primary key, which is a not null and unique. Foreign key, so here this is important, guys. So we have to check on which table it is pointing, on which column it is referring, which column it is referring. So that is the foreign key one, guys. Okay. So here we can do altering also, we can apply table level also. Okay, I will discuss tomorrow on this one. Okay, so few things I will discuss. So I will discuss tomorrow how to alter the constraints. Okay, so take this one today, guys. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue.